let's hit that. There we go. We've
Hello.
begun.
Uh,
Yeah, we're there.
Brilliant start, eh?
gonna
I'm just waiting for the other one.
No, I've got a question from the get-go. How does it feel to be too sexy for the studio you work in? This is referring to the fact that you're not allowed to tag. You're basically blocked from tagging the studio that you operate from. Essentially,
No, it's
for
not the
being
studio I
too.
operate from. It's an event I'm taking part in that is using my studio as a base for part of it. But also, there is the fact that my studio won't tag me in post, and I can't really tag them in post because it upsets the vegans.
Well,
So
I
I've
mean,
got it from all over. But it is nice to be apparently too sexy to be a taxidermist.
which
You know,
which
it
is
is it is
it's the
nice.
lesser known remix of the Right Said Fred song. It's the B side that never gets enough rep, but it's there.
It was the original. It was the original. But they found out it didn't really fit the song.
Yeah, it didn't. I mean, it was working when they were touring the workmen's clubs and that, but then when they took it to a big stage, it just didn't pull through so well.
Yeah, it was hard to relate to for the middle classes.
Yeah, it was like there were the lines about comparing your bollocks to the bollocks of like a badger or a shrew. The lines they just didn't seem to work in a big room atmosphere, much more for the small stage. But yeah, you get you basically pointing a camera at your dick all the time seems to
I don't
somewhat.
even say I'm pointing it at me dick. It's just I've got
The
the
internet
camera
says that.
angled and leaning against the wall, and I'm in the shot, and I'm pulling something out of my pocket, so I've got my pocket in the shot, and
Yeah,
it's like, well, there you go. Because I wear trackies all the time because they're comfortable.
that is
Like,
what
oh,
you
you
would.
can
That
you
is
can
what you.
see my little pecker.
Yeah, that's what you would
But
say to an officer as well if they were trying to do you for indecent exposure. You'd be like, "Well,
I wasn't
I was just."
masturbating outside the school, sir. I was urinating. I was tipping off the sprinkles at
It
the
was the
end.
camera angle, and then I had something in my pocket, and I had to get it out. It was fleshy. It was a sausage. But yeah, it's
It doesn't help though that I'm saying I've got something in my front pocket for you.
every
Why
time
don't we
it does.
reach in and see what it is? Yeah.
It also doesn't help that taxidermy fans seem to be some of the thirstiest people on the internet, mate. From the looks of it,
Yeah, I
all
never
of
knew that.
all of your comments, and this is both
Been
male
going
and
through, is it?
female, and yeah,
Oh yeah, it
they're
is.
all
It's
just like,
both.
we don't care about the dead mouse that you've got, just get the bulge
Mm.
out.
Yeah. I've even had if you can believe it, listener. I've even had people say to me, "I'm not interested in your little jar for £4 worth of ores. I would just like to see your penis. Can I pay for that?"
How does it
And
feel
I,
to be
I tried to
exploited?
set up an OnlyFans and they rejected me
So you too,
repeatedly.
you too, so
Gotten sick of it, to be honest. Now.
you're too sexy for a studio or an event,
Mm,
but not sexy enough for OnlyFans.
yeah,
That's a weird mid
so
ground. Where do you belong?
it is. Just the general man. That's just average. That just makes average, really. If you compare me to what seems to be the average-looking taxidermist, which seems to be a sort of like 65-year-old bloke who's not come out of his cave for 30 years,
Yeah, I mean,
compared to
so
genuinely attractive people who actually exercise and go out in the real sunlight. I
and
don't
then
do either of those two
I was going to
things.
say you're in between. You're not quite 65, but you don't get
No.
sunlight.
Yeah, yeah.
You're caught in like
I'm what those
that Venn diagram.
taxidermists looked like 40 years ago. And that's why they don't like me, mate. It's because they're fucking jealous. They're just
It's
like,
not
oh,
that they
I
don't
remember when I
like
looked
you.
like that.
They're trying to
No, no, it is.
no, they're trying to like put you off becoming them. So they're basically making themselves unlikable because they're like, look, this is what we became. You have a chance to turn around. You've got a chance to fucking sort your life out, get a job in a call center, and maybe just go from day to day pondering suicide instead. But you get to
No,
meet
you can
people.
still do that as a taxidermist, though. You know, it's fine, isn't it?
Yeah, but
It's still the same.
it doesn't
Ponder it every day.
Nah, because you get to take out that anger on dead animals. So you get to basically channel all the hatred and all the self-loathing into animals and stab them up and disfigure them the way you wish you really wanted to disfigure yourself. Whereas if you work in a call center or an office environment, there's none of that distraction. You've got nothing. You've got bare walls. You've got no light.
You
There's
just
no
have kids and
windows.
emotionally abuse them, I guess.
Yeah,
Just
a
to get
bit.
your kicks.
Essentially, yeah, you've got domestic abuse, substance abuse, and then quite frequently, and basically the point we all hope for is suicide. It's the sweet relief,
The sweet eclipse.
the sweet relief. I mean, some say that like the pitch black isn't bright, but it's the light at the end of the tunnel for me. Like my tunnel is bright white light, and the light at the end of it is actually dark. It's eternal darkness, and I can't wait to reach it. I really can't.
I mean, there are ways, but we won't go into this because I know you can be
I know ways.
in a position. You can be a little bit delicate at times, so I'm not going to sit here
No,
and list a load of ways for you to top yourself. I mean, that could be the show. We could look around the both rooms we're in and just detail ways we could kill ourselves.
Well,
but
we
I feel
didn't
like
fucking
someone
no,
may
no,
emulate
no.
it.
We didn't have an idea, so that's absolutely brilliant. We can go with that because I'll let you in on a little secret.
Go on.
About as I was explaining, you're a little bit off camera, but not totally explaining because then it would have ruined this next 30 seconds of nothing that's not even a bit. It's just another rant. I was making pizzas, mate, and right now I should be sat here fucking up a recording by eating on camera. But out of the batch of dough that is to make 3 pizzas, only 1 pizza made it in an oven. One big fucking when separated, one a ball of raw dough just inside raw flour inside the dough. Now,
Oh, nice.
that's not meant to happen. That's not meant to happen
No.
at all. But I thought, you know what? I'm still left with 2 bits. That's fine. 2 nice pieces of dough as well. Lovely. First one, got that shit fanned out. Absolutely lovely. Onto the pizza tray. Lovely. I've made the sauce. I've reduced it down. That shit's got balsamic. It's got some basil, oregano, chili, garlic, all the good shit. Selection of cheeses. I've got fucking fancy meats I brought up from Brighton when I went to see Rankin.
Yeah, they've been sat there for a while. It must be.
Yeah, but
You must have paid a good price for them if they've lasted this long.
it's cured meat, so
Oh, fair
it'll
enough.
last
yeah.
fucking centuries.
Last
but
longer
it's,
than we will. Yeah.
It's Iberico pork though, which is the pengalang, like the sweet. I shouldn't be talking about how nice it is because it's just making us salivate for a thing that I can currently smell, but I'm not fucking eating. Because the second one got the second one in the tray, everything on it, toppings sorted, nice one in the oven. Went to put the third one on the tray, and I was doing like a delicate balancing act. I had
How big are these pizzas? Just to help with mental imagery.
a good like 10 inch, 12-inch pizza, 10-inch pizza
Okay.
probably. Yeah.
Okay.
Like,
So separate trays then.
yeah, separate trays, not same tray. One tray in the oven, next tray. What I'm doing is I'm sort of pulling a little bit of your
Production
posing.
line.
Yeah, a little bit. I'm for the next bit. I'm sort of pulling the pose that you do to camera because I'm trying to get a pizza onto a tray, but to keep the tray under the level of the kitchen counter, so then I can sort of like just sweep it on. I'm pressing the pelvis forward into one side of the tray, with the other side propped up like underneath the counter above the cupboard. Do you know what I mean?
I can see where this went wrong. You
Yeah.
didn't have the erection what you needed. Just as some little shelf for it to.
And that's why we are seeking sponsorship from Blue Chew, because situations like this wouldn't happen if we were sponsored by a reliable alternative to Viagra and Cialis. If we had that, situations like this, I wouldn't be livid right now, and I'm doing well at keeping it contained because I am fucking seething, lad. After the processes I've gone through today to create that, and what I envisioned for myself, and what I should be feasting upon right now, and just chewing into the microphone like without any care in the world, describing it, which people don't want to hear, but I'd be doing it anyway, just because. Well, who the fuck cares? Who's listening to this for a point? So that My dreams lie shattered and clogged with dog hair on a kitchen floor. And that's going to be the name of my second album.
That could be the name of the show. My dreams lie scattered in dog hair.
So 9/11,
Yeah, when buildings attack.
that happened. Imagine. That's an alternative theory.
Yeah, no one's ever gone with it. No one's ever gone with the idea that we are fighting buildings.
Yeah.
Because you could look at it as buildings are eating us. How many
Yeah.
people die in buildings? I personally know someone this week that died in a building. Now, did the
we?
building take his life? I think they may have done. The officials say heart attack. I say the building had him. The building was like, I've had this. You've been trying to choke me out with secondhand cigarette smoke for the past 30 years. I'm gonna fucking have you, you cunt. I'm gonna strangle you with my own bricks. And,
I mean, that building has zero personality, I've got to say. It's got
Oh,
fucking...
no. Yeah, he's just a grim guy. He's just had enough, mate.
I was going to say it's a very wooden building, but that would make no sense. Well, it would make sense, but the chap
he
would
is
be
now
living in a
used all of
shed.
his bricks.
Yeah, I suppose so, yeah. But you reckon that it weren't the Saudis, it weren't the Israelis, it wasn't Bin Laden.
No, well, that's why they want to release the info on it, innit, so they can make everyone believe it was the Saudis and Bin Laden and things like that. You know, the people from over there that ways, whoever it may have been. Wasn't. It was just the buildings, mate. The buildings were like, you know what, I'm gonna fucking have you. And then what they did was they reached out. You can probably see it in some of the clips. What they've done, people say there's CGI in the 9/11 clips, but the CGI isn't the plane itself. The CGI is the smoke covering up the arm that's reaching out. You know, the beams that they say, oh, the beams can't be melted. The beams can't be melted. I've not heard one argument saying them beams can't come to life and grab a plane out of the sky and pull it into itself.
Well,
Never.
that's because people will only talk about things that they can disprove, and you can't disprove that. You can't disprove it.
100% fact, mate.
Transformers.
Again, we've beaten science.
Transformers showed us that vehicles can turn into humans or turn into some sort of beings.
And dogs.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean the film Bark, which I don't know if you've seen. I hope you haven't seen. Brought out in 2002, along with a load of other weird films. There's a lot of weird
There
films.
wasn't a lot of stuff about dogs back then.
Mate,
101 Good Deeds for Eddie McDowd. Fucking hell of a programme. I loved that.
watch
But
the film.
that other one about the canine dog, and at the end of it, that guy gets his testicles replaced by what I think are like beach bulls, and he's walking down the prison and they're clanging inside his scrotum. Kids film. You can hear his balls clanging in his scrotum, and someone asks, "Does he know any other songs?"
I've seen that scene and have no idea of the film you're talking about.
Canine something or other.
Well, I suggest you go on Amazon Prime and watch the film Bark, and
Okay.
then come back to me and tell us how it came to existence. It's got Lisa Kudrow, a la Friends, in, and this is when she was still doing Friends. It was 2002. It was brought out. Friends was running until 2004, so she was probably at the point where she was earning that $1 million an episode contract. Like, she was making bank.
So she did this for pleasure. This film, vanity project.
Mate, it's not a vanity project when you.
No.
It's got Vincent Don. Is it D'Onofrio? What the fuck's his name? Vincent. He was in Law and Order. That motherfucker from Law and Order. Vincent. Yeah, D'Onofrio. I can't say his fucking name, but he was in Law and Order. He was also in. He played the slow fella in Full Metal Jacket.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Him. So again, Lisa Kudrow, him, two big names. There are more names in it.
Hell of a cast.
It's about Lisa Kudrow basically is going out with some bloke and decides actually it's not Lisa Kudrow, is Lisa Kudrow her mate? Well, anyway, the main characters, the couple, the woman, the female protagonist of the film, decides she's had enough with society, stops talking, starts barking, and just starts acting like a dog whilst being a human. and the entire film is about the boyfriend like trying to deal with it, but it's atrocious. Like the the cinematography is atrocious, the script's atrocious, and like I watched it in its entirety because when you start getting into something that's that bad, you can't. You have to see where it goes. Like,
Well,
it's
yeah,
like
I've had films like that. Have you ever watched a film called Headhunter?
no,
Oh, mate,
but we
that
could talk.
cinematography, beautiful.
Oh, really?
But the film and the story, awful.
Well, I
No
mean,
dialogue, no monologue, nothing. Just a bloke that walks back and forth across the screen and occasionally drags a head. And then you see him rearrange shelves about 6 times. And then at the end, he has a fight with a shadow in the sewers.
sounds better than Bark. I'd watch
Is it?
that. Yeah, sounds
Oh,
incredible in comparison with
to be
Bark.
Bark sounds quite good. I'm
Um,
listening to this and thinking I could probably watch
you
this.
watch it. I
Mm.
don't want to spoil it for the audience. I encourage everyone to
Don't
watch
spoil
it.
it for me either.
Yeah, I'm not going to, but watch it, and then next week, there's your homework for next week. Come
Oh, lovely.
back and explain to me how how and why they agreed to it. The only reason I can think is they were all at a session, absolutely off their nut, and just went. Someone just came up to them. You know, like the people who come. Well, people who come up to you at like clubs or that and just start singing or MCing in your ear, and. But the Hollywood people must get it all the time, like actors and that. I've got a film, like this is the plot, this is this. And they've just turned around and gone, fucking, yeah, why not? Yeah, sound. I've got, when? Next week? I've got nothing on. Have you got enough coke to last the week? Because we're going to fucking need it with how lackluster this script is. Fantastic, no problem. I'll be there. I'll get Vincent on the phone. Me, Lisa, Vincent, we'll be round. It's fucking horrendous. But I think, getting back to the pressing issue of 9/11, I think it was done by rapists. Rapists and nonsense.
9/11 was. Do you reckon?
Yep. The
Why?
reason being that almost everything that's come in since involves touching people. Think of like the Terrorism Act and on-the-spot searches, stop and search in the UK, which was brought in through the Terrorism Act, which was brought in like post 9/11, post July 7th attacks or whatever. That's one. That's just getting touchy-feely with people. You've got TSA and all airports, TSA in America, and you've got airport security over here and like airport security everywhere else. Just want to give you a little finger. Just want to slip a glove on. Like, everything that's happened since then, police powers, like people being able to come into your home and just it's all rapists and nonsense. I don't think it's a sinister plot from they're trying to subvert us from what's in front of our eyes.
Oh, like when you're a kid and you wave in someone's face and kick him in the shin instead.
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
I watched a
But
video the other
waving
day.
hand is a plane crashing into some towers, killing a load of people, and the kick in the shin is like a finger up a kid's arsehole.
Yeah, well, I watched a video the other day on Reddit of some doctor who, like, he was going to give a kid an injection, and, like, with one hand, he was getting the needle and going da-da-da-da-da-da, and, like, tapping it up and down her arm, and then up and down her leg, and he was doing, like, a little song as he tapped her up and down, like, on the arm and leg, and then round the head with it, and then up and down, and then across the chest, and across the thighs, and then, like, back across the chest and the belly, da-da-da-da-da, just tapping the needle off this bend to, like, distract the child. And then, like, as he goes, and then he pops in the needle, and I thought, that is a paedophile. Like, that's a paedophile. Like, that's
He's
only,
practiced this, he's well versed.
only someone who can come up with such a great distraction technique is a fucking nonce, because they've got to do it. Because if he's doing that with a needle, he's definitely done that with a penis.
I mean, it wouldn't be. I don't know if it would be as relaxing for the child though, if because you've got to imagine that maybe his dick's not hard to start with, because maybe that's how he likes to get going. He has to sing a little song to it, and maybe it's got nothing to do with the kid at first. But he's got. And then as it starts getting a little harder, he's able to then slap it off of the child's head or something. But and then he's just testing it. He's testing it. He's got little to no feeling left there, because obviously he's been raising children. You know,
yeah, that
so
is why he's hitting it.
Yeah.
Like, it's not just a distraction technique for the child, it's like a warm-up for him. It's like it's that friction, the blunt force trauma, that actually activates him.
Or maybe that's where he draws the line, and he won't. He thinks to himself, right, I won't. I'm not going to watch any kiddie porn. I'm not going to watch any kiddie porn to get myself going to be before they come into the appointment. And he's just, but he'll still go the whole hog with the child. But he's got his models. They're not right, by everyone else's standards. But he's got his own standards, and he's like, oh, I refuse to do that. It's disgusting. And that's just how he warms up and gets himself going.
Yeah, well, him and his pals crashed into the towers so they could all get touchy-feely with people. I think it's
It's not unbelievable.
Yeah. I think that the whole East versus West is just a way of, because paedophiles are.
Well, you could say that people were being primed for that though earlier on in the late 90s with all the hip hop beef, East versus West.
Yeah, well, I would go as far to say that things such as like the Cold War and countless other things have prepped us for that. But I do like that you think, and I'm now fully in agreement, that what actually prepped us for the current situation now is the likes of Wu-Tang and Biggie versus Tupac and NWA. I think you're spot on, because what I think is Cold War worked for the last generation and the generation before. Just after the war, World War One or Two had happened, the whole world is in like fear because we've got the realisation that these big wars can fucking happen and lots of people can die. So the governments then were like, right, we've got a firm grip over everyone with this war thing. We'll just keep that clamped down and we'll keep a constant threat of war going on. And that'll keep people divided, and we've got that control. But then Vietnam War happened, and like America fucked up that one, so they lost a little bit of cred there because people were like, well, we don't trust the government anymore. We didn't want to go. You kept us going. We didn't win, and now you've lost a little bit of the war is going to keep us divided and keep us controlled effect. And built it up, and then little bloke started cutting up beats on decks, and then from that people started rapping over it, and then fucking Wu-Tang, and then NW. Well, actually, other way around. I don't want people kicking off in the. I was going to say in the comments, but we don't have comments, and even if we did have comment sections, there'd be fucking no posts in them at all.
I wouldn't read them anyway.
I don't even think we've got to the point where we do. Yes, I long for abuse.
That's not right. This isn't right. I've been getting that. I've been winding people up on Reddit today over the fucking whaling ban. And just to pass a bit of time when I was having my sandwich.
What did you pro whaling?
Yeah, pro whaling. Bring back the whaling because they're causing the sea levels to come up.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Filling up space, and then someone said, that everything from a whale comes from the ocean, and I went, well, if that's the case, then everything that's made the ice has come from the ocean, and then they said that was wrong. And said something about Antarctica being land covered in ice. And I said, well, what about what the explorers believe, where there's doorways there to the hollow earth? And then they went on about Nazis. And I was like, yeah, but you can tie anything to the Nazis if you wanted to. That's a conspiracy in itself. And I seem to have him with that, Jimmy.
You went from whaling to Nazis in, one or two more comments that I'd expect, to be honest. You should be able to get there. The aim in any sort of Reddit conversation / debate / argument is to get to the Nazis as quickly as possible, and taking 6 or 7 comments is too many.
I like feeding them down the path though, and you've got to I use it to advertise these shows and my shows. So in it, I'm referencing us or myself and being like, yeah, but if you listen to this, which has got the same name as my username, you'll actually learn from it. I listened to it the other day, and sometimes it works. Sometimes people just think this guy's a dickhead. Other people think I'm not well.
Well,
but, it works. It's getting us the listens.
On the sea levels front, like, do you remember adverts when we were kids that were telling you like not to waste water and like never turn the tap off when you're brushing your teeth and all this shit because you're wasting water, as if we were running out of water, as if we'd discovered some sort of hole in the whole water system where water exists, either goes back to the sea Well, anyway, it goes back
or
to the sea.
escapes out the new holes in the ozone layer that we're starting to be told about then.
Either way, like we should be trying to get rid of as much water as possible. If the ice shelves are melting, as we're being told, if the large ice wall that borders us and the edge of the flat Earth, if that's melting, as they say, in the inverted commas, surely we should be trying to waste as much water as possible.
In it, so that's got somewhere to go. I fully agree. Fully agree. What I don't understand about water, Jimmy, is if heat rises as it goes up, and you imagine if you get closer to the sun, it gets warmer. And why is the sky so cold when there's clouds there full of water? Why is it not? Why is it not warm? If that's evaporated water, how can you have cold evaporated water?
Well, that's exactly when. Well, what you've just mentioned or described is at a point when it goes back to becoming mist and then reforming as water again because of the cooling.
Oh.
Because of the change in temperature and the fact it's reached that point where it is getting like comes to the point where it cools down to become water again. Like you've pretty much described perfectly why that happens.
That's
It's
mad,
to the
man.
point where I thought where you would actually clock on at the end of the sentences you said it.
No. So does that mean that below clouds, then there's a point where it's the cold is below that, and then it gets warm again?
I don't know. I suppose so because I think like you've got that point in between because you can have obviously low clouds, like quite
Yeah.
low clouds, especially around here. I can walk through clouds at points with a dog, but then above that you've still got a lot of space until we get to like the limits of the atmosphere where shit starts getting really cold again. So I think that might depend on the amount of water.
Well, I would
Because
have thought that
obviously
depends on how
denser
low the
clouds.
cloud is. Yeah, weight. You got a heavy cloud, it's going to come lower, innit?
I
would
am
have thought.
basing this on absolutely zero knowledge because the
I'm
last
basing it on the idea as if you wet a tea towel up.
yeah, absolutely. I mean that's faultless.
It weighs
Absolutely.
more.
Yep,
Yeah,
it does.
Well, that's what I'm seeing in my head as you're describing this.
Yep. If you throw a paper towel that's not wet,
Yeah.
it floats down to the ground, and if you throw
Yeah.
a wet one, it sticks to a wall or someone's window or a windscreen or something like that, or a teacher if you've thrown it at a teacher. Hopefully, Mr. Stoko, year 9, maths teacher, pinned us up against the wall once. I threw a wet paper towel off his face one time, and I tell you what, if I saw him in the street, I'd do it again. Fuck you, Mr. Stoko, little prick. Fucking proper. I realise it now. Back then, I just thought it was because he was really angry. Definitely an alcoholic. Proper red, the red glow around the nose and underneath the eyes, and always very angry, and always drinking a shitload of coffee, and that's blatantly because his breath stank of coffee and fags, and that was blatantly to cover up the fact that he was actually off his fucking face, pissed every day. Fuck you, Mr. Stoko. Actually, it'll be 2 wet paper towels and possibly a dog shit.
And a little bit of soap just to keep the towels compacted.
Clay. Nice
Clay.
bit of clay.
Oh, so you can get a bit more distance on that.
I want force.
Now, you had a question for me at the start of the show. I have a question for you. Have you heard about the beaners?
Yeah, fucking yes, I have. Yeah, yes, I have. Would you care to enlighten the audience about the new craze that's sweeping the nation?
Basically, Heinz grasping at straws in order to sell multi-packs of beans.
It's genius.
It's got to be marketing at some degree. And basically, people go to the corner shop, they buy a tin of beans, they open said tin of beans, and then smear them across people's driveways, and then post it all on TikTok saying #BeanBandit.
Or on their windscreens. Again,
I didn't
same
see
premises.
windscreens.
Yeah, apparently
Yeah.
it's windscreens, windows.
Oh,
Because
what
if
a
you think,
cunt.
yeah, on people's cars and that as well.
Yeah.
It's like doing the old milk and flour and shit like that. Like that would just not just stick to your car, but then smell really badly as soon as it started drying. Like shit like that. I used to love that shit when I was a kid. There was nothing like causing like mindless damage to shit that you were like doesn't matter. That's fine. These people are Like, these people are all adults. This just happens in day-to-day life to them. And now being that age and going, you know what? If some little shit put the fucking window through in my car, I would break their fucking legs. And then I would end their life. And back then it was like, no problem at all. No problem at all. I want to slit someone's tyres. I want to put the windows through on that greenhouse. If someone put the windows through on my well, my fucking San Marzano tomatoes growing out there. You take the piss. Someone put a fucking window through on there. 4 months, 4 or 5 months been trying to get those cunts grown. And after all that hard work, someone got shards of glass just through my San Marzanos. There'd be hell to pay. Hell to pay.
Are you planning on grafting to a different type of plant within the same family so that you don't have to use heat to grow that particular type of plant?
What?
We'll discuss this off air. But
no. Let's discuss this on air.
Well, it's something I got taught at college, so it would probably be all right. It's not too bad. The college teacher taught me when I did horticulture, innit?
Right.
And he taught me that you can use most tomato species. The family supposedly comes from the same family as cannabis. So if you really wanted to, you could grow tomato roots stock, grow the tomato to a good size, and then graft the rootstock onto the pre-grown bud plant, and then you can basically graft trees of bud onto the rootstock, and harvest them and put another stock on the rootstock.
Well,
and you don't need to heat up the room as much.
Funnily enough, I've heard of quite a few times that growing tomatoes and growing weeds very similar.
Very similar, same as nettles as well.
Well, there's fucking shitloads of nettles at the end of my street, so I should have tossed all my weed seeds down there at the beginning of the year.
Or just use that soil.
Yeah, that's true. But no, these are just regular tomatoes. However, what I am going to start doing, and I encourage anyone who's listening, I mean, first off, thanks. But secondly, go and start...
Send us a message so we know you exist.
Go and start buying multi-packs of beans. Just they're not a lot. They're just a few quid. If you don't want to, you don't even have to get fines. That would be even better actually, because if this is a PR campaign and a marketing stunt, there'd be nothing better than for it to be a success for a rival bean. Yeah, for Branston fucking beans, lad. Like, we're cheaper. That if you were a bean manufacturer right now, if you own a shop that sells beans, you're putting all the other ones on sale. Put them on the shelf next to the catapult. Get the kids up in the game. Yeah, that's not a bad idea at all. But start buying them. Even if just buy 1 pack a week. If you don't want them, if you don't like beans, toss them in the food bank that's always at the end of the car park before you leave the supermarket. You're doing a good deed. Not only that, like, bean sales will be flying up, and as soon as they see people buying loads of multi-packs of beans, you might be on a watch list for a few weeks. Neighbourhood watch at most. Like, you're not going to be on any fucking terrorism blacklist, depending on where you live. If you're in like a proper Tory town, so I don't think I can do this in Harrogate, because the threat of a working class gentleman running around and smearing what would be as the price beans, because there's no way I'd be doing anything of any good quality. I'd be using the cheapest beans possible, smearing them all over their lovely pristine Audi A8 or their Jaguar F-Type or something like that. Like, the threat is real to them, and that's about as severe as a crime as it gets in Harrogate. So I reckon if I bought 3 or 4 multi-packs of beans before I got back to the house, there'd be unmarked X5s outside with armed response.
Just following you around, just being like, "We've got a beaner. We found a beaner."
And then you do suicide by cop. You like open the, they're like put the beans down. You're like, nah, and you start opening. They're like, don't do it, and you throw the tin of beans open at them. And go down the blaze of glory.
The cop is shouting to you through one of those bullhorn things, going, "Do you have the corresponding amount of white loaves for those beans? Show me the loaves."
Nah, that's too big for your toaster. You'll have to trim those down. Let's have a conversation about that for a second, actually. Toaster companies, right? You've got one job. Toaster does it just toasts. You can try and do other stuff with a toaster. You're just gonna fuck the toaster up. You're just gonna fuck your kitchen up. Gonna fill it full of smoke. You're just gonna fuck yourself up. But toasters that don't fit every slice of bread in, and when I say every, I mean any slice, and they always leave like a half an inch gap at the top, or the sides you've got to right cram them in. Who's letting these people get away with that?
Well, I think that's more of a bread maker problem. A baker, as they're also known. That's their problem.
No, I don't think it is. I think
of course it is. The toasters already exist. They could change the size of the bread, make the loaves longer.
The onus.
Then your fucking circular bits of ham or whatever, or your square bits of meat and that, they'll fit the bread, and you won't have that fucking.
Hear me out.
Empty bit of bread around the edge.
Let me explain why it's the toaster maker's job and responsibility in this situation. Because not every slice of bread is going to be toasted in life. But everything that goes in a toaster
is intended to be toasted.
Is also going to be a bread derivative of some sort. Whether it's straight up bread, whether it's hot cross bun, whether it's tea cake. I was going to say toasted tea cake, but it's not quite.
If you've got a good spring on your toaster though, and you're new to beaning, you might be able to use that to fling a couple beans out.
They burn to the toaster.
No, you've not got it plugged in. You've just got the plug in your pocket. You know, what's in my front pocket, or it's a fucking toaster plug. And here's the toaster standing outside someone's windows or on a road, you know, as cars go past, pouring your beans into your toaster, your brand new toaster, pulling down the thing, pour the beans in, and then press cancel.
I feel like we've got massively off topic here. I feel like I had a real vice against the toaster people, and I feel like you've just delegitimised the issue. I don't think you're taking what I'm saying to be quite serious. This is...
I don't think you want to help the beaners. Does Jimmy not want to help the beaners?
I've just told you I'm going to start fucking buying multi-packs of beans. But I'm not going to put them in the food banks.
That's just going to get them fucking...
No, I'm not. I told the other people. I told the listeners, because I'm responsible and because I don't want fucking MI5 knocking at my door. I didn't say to the listeners, then do what I'll do. I told them to do something charitable and put them in a fucking food bank bin. What I'm going to do is wait until Fridays, which, as we all know, as a teenage an adolescent, is it's drinking night. Let's be honest. It's go to your local, like, fucking Bowling Green or Rec or down the river, or sometimes you go back to your school and go to the football fields out the back of the school, which is a bit weird. It's like going back to work when you're off work, but all right. It's drinking night, so you wait until Friday to buy your multi-packs of beans, and then you just go to your local adolescent haunt, and you don't look noncy in any way, shape or form when you approach them with 2 Asda bags full of smart price beans, and hand them out, distribute them to the young drunken folk of wherever you're from, wherever you could go. Even better crime, go to another town. Yeah. Make sure they don't do your car.
Travel for it. Yeah.
And then start distributing. Obviously, you'll have to do your research if you go to another town, because you won't know the drinking haunts of the adolescents. So what you'll have to do is what any self-respecting person will do, which is drive through town and then just pull up to random adults in the street, ride down your window and go, "Excuse me, can you tell me where young kids drink alcohol around here?" And they'll be sure to help you out. You're a stranger from out of town. You couldn't be up to any trouble. What have you got there? Car full of beans? That man, he looks like a safe member of society. So then you distribute the beans to all the people who are drinking them on the... You've got a different colour there, mate. You're all right.
It's the image in my head that them just leaning through the window going, you want me? I can't hear you over the cars. It's like, where do the kids drink? You can just see all the beans.
Do you know, like the scene in? Have you seen Fear and Loathing in Las
Just good
Vegas?
imagery. Yeah, instead
know
of the suitcase.
Yeah, no. Do you know when?
Oh.
Do you know when the copper pulls him over and he drives away from the copper for ages, and then the copper pulls him over and like asks what he's been doing and that, and he's just got a car full of free shit he stole from the hotel room. He's trying to cover it all up. Like, no, what's in the car? Like, nothing, mate, nothing. Don't worry, it's clinking. There's that much metal going on. It's clinking. There's little pops are going off because it's hot in the car, so that a few lids have popped. But yeah, anyway, basically go to other towns, give these beans to piss kids, and then watch the chaos. But make sure it's not Heinz. Make sure it's the cheapest brand possible. I don't know if the quality of the brand would affect the adhesive capability of the beans.
I'm not sure. I would have thought if they're cheaper, they'd probably be gloopier. Probably less beans in them as well.
Yeah.
More sauce, less beans.
Which
It
is
sounds like it would be a good advert for something. More sauce, less beans. For someone that's really, he wants people to be really into
I'm guessing
the sauce.
people who it's booze basically. That's pubs trying to take over from clubs again. Less pills, less beans, more sauce, more booze. It's that.
Yeah, there's a tagline.
It's
There's
trying
the
to
entrepreneurial part of the podcast done. We can tick that off.
I will have no business in anything that advocates against the use of drugs. No, thank you. No, thank you. I mean, I like a tipple as much as the next man, but give me a cowie over a fucking shot like any day. So that is one. This episode, we might have to go without. Actually, no, we'll just bring out a bean brand.
Oh,
Yeah. We'll call it Has Beans.
oh nice.
And
I
no one
was
will
trying to
buy
go
it because
something
it's
to do with
such a shit
beanbag.
joke.
You get
Yeah.
a bean bag and you keep it in your front pocket.
We
In a
could
little,
go
they
with-
come in a little sack.
We
Beans
could
in a
go
sack
with-
like water balloons.
I've
So they're
been
already good for throwing.
call it. I've been giving these to your kids. Heinz, 52-year-old man giving beans out to kids in local parks.
Be a big tin, that. Share size. Share size Heinz 52. I'm an old man giving beans out to kids.
It's fucking English as fuck, though, isn't it? Beanin'.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a very English thing to do. Like,
It's an inconvenience, but it's really also feels really below the belt for some reason.
yeah, but it's also beans. Like, that's proper English as fuck. Like, imagine just going around tossing Yorkshire puddings at people. There's one. There's another one. Do you know, like, if you make big Yorkshire puddings, like fucking Toad in the Hole size Yorkshire pudding, like they've got a bit of that. There's a bit flop to them, bit crust on the outside, bit flop in the middle. You get a good frisbee on them. How about we start making massive Yorkshire puddings and trying to frisbee them on people's heads?
What about putting them down the, that bit at the bottom of the car's windscreen?
Yeah.
Just packing them into there.
So when they put the windscreen wipers on, it just smears Yorkshire pudding. Oh,
For them when the beaners chuck them over.
Beaners. I don't know if you've got that idea yet, but if you do what he's just said and put beans across all the bottom of the windscreen, but hopefully so they don't know, and then when they put the windscreen wiper on, hopefully going down the A1 at about 80, 90, they're speeding, they're late for work. What about it? There's no problem with that. Streak! 4-car pile-up, 3 dead. I mean, if you're gonna prank, you want to go for figures. You know what I mean? You want a body count. This day and age, like fucking people die for
Harrier
less.
strike, mate. That's what you're going for.
Yeah, you're going for a multi-kill. I'm going for triple kill at the very least.
And like, I got a triple beaner.
Beaner.
Have you?
Go on.
It's a fun word, isn't it? Have you heard about this woman as well? I've been looking at stuff because I've not really read anything the past week. I've been busy with shit,
Don't read. It's dangerous.
It is for me. I don't understand anything it says anyway. It just seems to go in wrong. But there's this woman that she got scammed, but they didn't take any money off of her. Have you seen her?
Oh, the woman who got robbed.
No. She got they got into. Well, I'll tell you what. I won't tell you what happened. I'll tell you the story of it instead. So don't. So she gets a
I'll
text
tuck
out of
myself
nowhere
in.
saying, "I'll give you $300, right? If you cut your hair." And she was like, "Well, it'd be silly not to." And she agreed because she thought it was from a modelling agency she'd worked with before, called Red something or other. And she was like, "Oh,
Tube.
all
Red
right, yeah,
Tube.
I'll do that." Hey,
Red Tube.
that's the one. Yeah.
Yep.
And then an hour later or so, they got back in touch and said, "Well, okay, if you're gonna do that, don't do that. How about I give you $2,000 and you shave all your hair off?" And she was like, "Well, happily, yeah, I'll do that. But you've got to shave your hair off first." So she shaves her hair off, and then turns out it's a scammer. But he didn't want any money. It's good, isn't it? It's genius.
Yeah, it's really good. Fuck off, see you later. It's like
No money, nothing for it. Just and yeah, she's come out to because she wants to make people. She wants to promote awareness that this could happen to you. I don't think it could.
I don't think it could
Really?
either. I also think that's one of her mates or someone that like she's pissed off at work, and they've been like,
Well, she must have really annoyed them because they managed to fake the caller ID, fake the location of the call and the text, and managed to use the very close to or the same voicemail message as the modelling agency, apparently, according to her boyfriend, which was what as far as the article went.
well, we know who's done it then, don't we?
Yeah, innit?
We know who's fucking done it. Boyfriend there, she's obviously piped someone off, obviously piped someone else off, and he's gone, well, I want to keep her around. I don't want to get rid of her, but she's got to pay for this. I'm not going to let her know I know, but I'm going to do some shit to let her. I'm going to fuck around and let her find out. Let her find out that she's not invincible, and then let her know. Because also she bald. Nobody want a bald bitch. Ain't nobody want a bald bitch. Actually, like shaved haired lasses can be very attractive. I take that back. But maybe she looks shit bald.
Done it through choice.
Yeah,
And
maybe
they're
she
confident with it. She's not
Yeah.
confident with it, mate. She
This-
wasn't happy with this.
You've got
That's
there is
where that good luck comes from, is the confidence.
there is a difference between being bald by choice and bald by force, and bald by duped. And I'm
Bald
guessing,
by scam.
yeah, exactly. Bald
the
by
guy didn't even want the hair.
that's even better.
He wanted
That's
nothing.
even-
He just wanted her to shave her head. How many people did he do this to? Did he have a system? And he's just like, them old calling lists. Like, say you work in a call centre, they give you a list of numbers, and you're like, right, bell them. And the fucking photocopy of the phone book from like 10 years ago. They just slip it to you, and everyone's got the wrong name, but all the numbers are the same for the same houses. And you start ringing them. Is he just texting through them?
I hope
Seeing how
I
many
hope
people
not.
do.
I hope she was specifically chosen because
If
she's
she was, he did fucking well.
fantastic. Props to him. Give that man a can of beans and watch what he can achieve.
He might be responsible for the being.
We can only hope, but
He's just had one hell of a week. He's like, right, I've set off beans. Beans are going good. How can I sell fucking Sean razors or,
Yeah, he's just
fucking
got a
whatever?
whole-
I don't know what exists.
he's just a wholesaler that's been had dark
Yeah,
times because
yeah.
of COVID. Right, I can't shift this stuff, man. I've gone to Catterick Market every fucking week for the last 5 months. Like, I'm getting rid of nothing. I've got fucking stacks of beans. I've got loads of razors. What else have we got? What else has been going on this week? Fucking nothing. Nothing. I was to tell. Do you know what I've done for the last week? Watch dash cam compilations.
Have you?
Watch
I
dash
know a
cam.
guy that's just started putting his own together and selling them, and he seems to be doing pretty well with it.
He's selling videos of his dash cam.
Yeah, he seems to have a fair bit of road rage, but which adds to it. But also,
Who's-
people seem to really enjoy cutting him off when he's driving.
Who's he
he
selling?
must-
Now, I'm going to get to that point in a second, but I'm going to ask, but who's he selling them to?
I don't know. I didn't
Because that
ask.
sounds like some sort of sick OnlyFans thing where people like get off on road. Do you know what I mean?
You road rage on near misses.
Someone who's
So
really
you can put it on the VR headset and have a near miss and be like, oh.
No, it's someone who's really polite. Someone whose job it is to drive around and be really polite. You know, like a fucking driving instructor. Their entire job's to remain cool and calm and like sound and be reaffirming and like reassuring to their fucking student. but really all they want to do is absolutely lose their rug. So they go home and instead of fucking wanking off the fucking lasses getting their arseholes out, they get videos of people.
Say the dog. I don't know why.
Well, you could get your dog's arsehole out. Could get your dog's
Jesus.
arsehole out if you want. Like, that's up to you. But I mean, it's not what I'd do. I'd just maybe tickle the balls a bit. But no,
Just enough to make them retract.
they get just enough to make the lipstick pop out. It's just way, and then make it go back in again.
Just punish
it's
it.
It's not the pleasure; it's the control. It's what I get off on.
Yeah, obviously, because the driving instructors.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, they just go home and buy videos of the person getting angry, cutting off people, and doing all the swearing that they wish they could do. No, the reason I'm watching, I'm not going to stop watching dashcam compilations until I find one of me, because watching the clips of other people, like some of the shit that gets sent in, these people have done nothing. What makes it even funnier is, because I'm a stickler, and it might not sound it, but when it comes to the road, I'm a stickler for the rules. I'm what you might call a highway vigilante. Like, I will take the law into my own hands to police people that I think ought to be policed on the road. When I say that, I mean people who get up with each other's arse. If you get up with someone's arse, especially someone that's like doing the speed limit, like, and you get up their arse, they've done nothing wrong, you can see they're not the sort of person who would respond well to that situation, that you're basically bullying that person to get out of the way. I will then overtake that person after you've overtaken them, then overtake you and purposefully slow you down. And every time you flash and beep your horn and pull a wanker sign, my smile only grows wider, because every gesture, every movement, every flash is just... it's just confirmation that I'm doing the right thing. I'll make middle lane drivers pull into the fucking other lane. Whether that means undertaking them, then overtaking them again and pulling in front of them. I like to police the roads, albeit not in a way that is legal. And if I was ever caught, it's definitely fucking dangerous driving, but these people need to be put in their places. I won't have bullies on these streets. So I know I'm on a fucking dashcam compilation somewhere and some cunt's going wild at me. But what I've noticed is a lot of these people who send them in, they're in the wrong. Like, they send them in as going, this bastard did this and that, and you're like, actually, that wasn't your right of way. That's your fault, you fucked up. And there's also serial offenders, like... I can understand if you've sent 1 or 2 clips into a dashcam compilation place. A lot of mad shit happens on the road. But there's some people that have sent like 20, 30 clips in. You're just grasses. Also, if all this...
Because there's money in it, mate.
Yeah, but also, if all this shit's happening around you, that makes me think you're the fucking link in all this.
Innit? Yeah, you're the problem.
You don't just attract this, you are the issue that creates it. Those people, like, need to realise when to wind their necks in. But I love a dashcam compilation. Absolutely love it. I love anger. And do you know what else is great about a dashcam compilation? Is all the reaction and the laughter, because often there's laughter, comes from, you can't see it, because it's the other side of the camera. Like, the drivers, you can't see them. And so if funny shit happens, you get that, and you get pure laughter without any being able to see their face, and it just makes us feel wholesome that other people enjoy, like, the pain that others go through. Like, watching a crash and then going, oh, I'm like, yes, that's how I'd be. I'd be fucking going, way, as well. I'm glad I'm not the only one. You soak that up. You don't get to see many of those accidents. He's not coming back from that. You fucking soak that one up. It's a once in a million.
Yeah, I can see you get a lot out of it, man. Even that little nod to the guys, he just, at the end of that, it's like he finally got off his chest and he just sort of smirked to himself, looked down at his feet and nodded.
Yeah. I had that autism assessment this week. I told the woman. I was like
What did you tell her? What about the cars thing?
That was one of the things, yeah. Well, we were talking about obsession and being like, once I go down a hole on something, like, I have to watch and read everything about it. And at the moment, I'm doing a lot about pizzas, steak, and dashcam compilations. Did she
free up a week?
I had to. Do you know what? This is great. So we did the whole assessment. It's for ADHD and autism because a lot of the things cross over. And at the end of the assessment, she was like, the results have to be sent off to go to respective teams. There's an ADHD team, there's an autism team. And the woman was like, at this point, although I've got to send the results off, usually I can give you like a good guess as to what the result's going to be, because obviously I've carried this assessment out with lots of people before. I know the patterns. And she went, but with this one, you've answered wildly on both sides that I just can't give you a definitive answer right now. I was like, that's fucking great. And then she went, you probably won't hear anything back for like 3-4 weeks. By 2:00 that afternoon, I had a phone call being like, "Yeah, the autism team said you've got to come in for the second assessment. Yeah, you've definitely thrown up some sort of some signs. Also, are you at risk of self-harming at the moment?" I was like, "Whoa, all right. No, don't worry, it's sound. I haven't sharpened the knives. I can't get my hand on any and that many drugs at the moment. I'm pretty skint. So if you could up the universal credit, then yeah, definitely I would be at risk of self-harm. But as it stands, can't really afford it. I'm just trying to eat myself to death at the moment with rather nice foods."
Well, are you happy that you got to stage 2, or was you hoping that they'd tell you, "I'm sorry, you've been unsuccessful in your application"?
It's the first time I've got through a second stage or something in over 4 years. I'm fucking buzzing. Although I was trying to work out whether is it like cancer where it goes up to 4? I don't know. I hope so, because if I get to that level, then there'll be a
stage 4 autism.
I get to people will start doing marathons in my name and shit like that, won't they?
Well, you might even get. Well, it'd be good for you to probably like it. You could have your own. They might write a paper on you, but you could then have like Jimmy Budd papers.
Yeah, that'd be sound. Nice. I want people to do a fun run, but it won't be a long one. It'll be a mile, but before you start, you've got to sniff a 1/4 gram of ketamine.
Right.
And
so it's like an endurance thing. You can get the closest.
Yeah, but who makes it? It'd be a regular race. Wouldn't
a shitload of ketamine fucking run do your heart in as well?
I don't know, because I've reeled cocaine with. I've reeled ketamine with coke, with cowies, with all manner of things in the past, and.
So these will be people sort of well versed in taking part in said fun run, not just fucking dragging Joe Blogs off the street.
Oh no, well I won't just limit it to friends. I mean, some of them will be experienced, but obviously my mum and dad will be doing the fun run, won't they? So they've got to get involved. I mean, they've got to get sniff hoofers. I'd want like former teachers. They'd have to get them involved. Neighbours. I've got some right old neighbours. I'd like to see them sniffing massive fucking rails of ket and then trying to walk. That'd be fun. All in the name of a good cause. What other thing could you have? Because like fucking fun runs and that, the things they have. This is verging on a Doug Stanhope bit, which I don't want to copy. But everything they do for like causes involves like strenuous exercise and shit, and like basically people putting themselves through stuff they wouldn't usually want to do. Besides when it's like zip lining and that, which seems like everyone wins in that, and it seems like the person who's raising money just gets to have a fun time and basically gets to gloat about, I'm not doing something good, but also having a really fun time on this zip line off the top of the Stadium of Light across the River Wear. What could you do that was like still true to you, but also in aid of the cause?
Eating competition, pizza competition. I've done a skydive for charity, and you had to raise, I think it was 350 quid, and I raised 100 quid, and then I had to fucking put 250 to it myself, which really pissed me off.
Yeah, so you didn't raise money there. You just paid to go skydiving.
Yeah,
that's not.
And it cost me about 125 quid more than what it would have cost if I'd just booked the thing to go fucking skydiving.
That's a belter. That.
It really fucking pissed me off, mate.
Fuck that. I hope that. What was it in aid of? What was the charity?
Not got a clue. Someone just came into the butcher's one day and went, would you do a skydive for charity? We just looked at each other and went, fucking, yeah.
I do hope to get out of this fucking shop.
Just to fucking jump out of a plane, mate.
Yeah,
It's fun, isn't it?
yeah. That almost brings us back to 9/11. But there we
Yeah.
go. Would you blow up? We could have a blow up buildings for the cause. If we were
What,
going
you
to
got-
blow up a building for charity, which one would you pick?
Oh. The Shard, but probably from indoors, so that
Everything
makes
blows out.
shards. Yeah,
It becomes the literal shard.
yeah.
That also relates to Ketman.
Or I would take down the Gherkin using vinegar, like was it Genghis Khan who melted rocks?
Pickle
Just
it.
melt the fucking concrete underneath. mate.
Pickle it.
Yeah,
Because it's pickled
Take it out.
gherkin.
yeah. And then that Gherkin falls, and you're like, yes, I fucking felt the Gherkin.
Yeah, all right. That's a fair one.
Don't know why I'm picking on London though.
You are picking on London quite. I wouldn't pick on London. I would pick much closer to home.
Neighbour's house. You don't have to carry anything that far. And you can get local people involved.
If I was going to blow, what would really piss people off? Because that would be my aim.
We had someone in Manchester blow up the dog zone
No,
a few years ago.
Whoa.
That upset a lot of people.
Jesus Christ. There's yeah, I remember that. That was in the fucking news. I don't want to. Now, let's be honest. I'll joke about dark shit, but I'm not hurting no dogs. Now, a cattery, let's light that shit up. Pass the matches and the petrol. Let's go. Dogs don't deserve it. That's not the sort of building I'd like to go for, though. Something
You
that
could
would
you
really.
could go for a creche, burn a creche down full of kids, so the
Nah.
newspaper could have kidling.
Oh, you fuck. No, I want something that just it pisses people off by just taking up their time. DVLA, there you go. Blow up the DVLA so no one can get their licenses and no one can fucking get their car reg changed or anything like that. Also helps people who have had speeding tickets and getting points and stuff like that. So I mean, it's a little bit twofold.
Get looked over.
That doesn't work then, does it? Mackies.
Hospitals.
Nah, there's nothing goes on in hospitals
too
anyway.
dark.
All the wards in the hospital near me are closed down anyway, so it's too pointless. Mackies.
Yeah, so you got
Blow
to drive
up.
to the next one.
Blow up. Yeah.
And then be hanging round outside the next one with, like looking like you're going to blow it up so everyone feels like they got to rush. So the drive-through's empty because they're all just running inside to queue because they think they'll get served faster. You're outside with loads of packs of hot dogs with fishing line attached to them.
Why are the hot dogs with fishing line attached to them?
I figured it'd look like dynamite, but I'm only really going off cartoons.
No, all right, absolutely fine. I thought there was some sort of... I thought you were doing some sort of like Pied Piper of Hamelin, but attracting the people away from McDonald's with fishing line full of hot dogs. Thinking that would entice them.
Come and take my brine sausage.
Yeah.
And we're back to the doctor from before. Slapping them on the cars, and the kids are there with the beans. We've got close to a fry up though now.
Well, you've got those sausage and beans, like combination tins, haven't you? Although that's a very small sausage.
Yeah,
Which, to be
I think
fair-
people that eat them should be put down.
That sort of sausage, much more child friendly if you're that doctor.
I don't think they care about being child friendly, bro.
I mean, accessible.
But yeah, workable.
Yeah, malleable. What a word. I never get to use that enough, and I think that's the only context I want to use it in now, when talking about
I think the child
a
would be more
paediatrician.
malleable. The child victim would be more of a malleable than the sausage.
More malleable than the doctor's sausage.
Yeah,
I think you could be
that would be a
correct.
fucking hell of a fucking way to grade things.
Is this so? That's the test. If you go like crash test dummies and shit like that. So is this vehicle more or less malleable than that doctor's sausage?
No, than the child victim of that doctor's sausage.
Oh, right, okay. Maybe that's the scale. Maybe it starts with doctor's sausage. Maybe it starts with child victim, and the upper end of the scale is doctor's sausage. Because, I mean, Americans will measure anything in anything but what they should. So, doctor's sausage and child victim makes perfect sense.
Oh, what you're saying about different measurements, something I fucking found out the past couple of weeks that I have
Go on and
fucking
tell us how big
seen.
it is.
No, 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 I'm not gonna bore you with that. I did no one. It's less than what you think. The fucking the measurement was called a SARS, mate, right? Which was 3,600 and something years, and that was how long the kings would reign for in ancient Egypt. But
Bollocks.
that's also the time it takes for Nibiru to orbit and come back to Earth, which I
Jesus.
thought, like, for numbers matching in places.
Yeah, you've really been watching a lot of numerology lately, haven't you?
Yeah.
From your last
You
two...
can see how it ruins everything I do, though, and how it obscures how I see the world.
It
At least I've
ruins...
got away from the demons. That's
Yeah.
nice.
And the thing is, though, you're one step away from star signs, and that's when we're really going to worry. Because...
No, I've got no interest in it.
Yeah, but
None
you
at all,
probably
it
you
won't
probably
happen.
didn't have interest in numbers a few years ago.
No,
You
I
were like,
did.
numbers,
No,
I
no,
don't
I
care
did.
about them.
I've always thought they must mean something.
They do. One is one. Two
Yeah,
is
but no,
is
but
one
to
and another
represent
one.
things, it makes sense for them to represent things. It just makes
It
sense.
only does to humans because
You
we
could
need to have...
say,
We need
you
to
could
make
say
an
with the numbers
understanding.
9 and 11 looks like a plane and the two towers.
You
twist
could.
a 9.
You
That's
could.
probably
People
hack and been said tons of times, but
definitely has. Definitely has.
well, I'll say something new then. 11-6. Yeah,
What does that mean?
brand new there. Same thing.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is
But
that
the plane's
your
doing
attack?
a barrel roll.
Yeah. And like Sky King. Have you seen the? Have you heard about that bloke? It's a fucking. There's a really good Mad Lads on it. Count Dankula's Mad Lad series. He's done a really good one on it. Basically, you probably will have heard of it. This bloke's been talked about many times. He stole a plane, stole a passenger jet. He worked in the airport, not as a pilot, but he taught himself on a flight simulator how to fly a passenger jet, full commercial jet. Stole it, took off in it, started flying about in it, trolled air traffic control for a good couple of hours. I had a good conversation with him. Basically explained to them that up until this point there was no real reason for him doing it, but he's just severely depressed and this is his time. And he was like, do you reckon how to do a barrel roll in this? Do you reckon how to do a loop? He fucking did, pulls him off perfect. And then he goes, right, I know this place over here is pretty inhabited, so I'm just going to set her down over here, boys, and just crashed it and killed himself. Incredible story.
Yeah.
That's the first thing you should do after this is go and watch the Mad Lads episode on Sky King, because he could have been he could have been a comedian. His delivery when he's talking to air traffic control is tremendous. He's got them eating out the palm of his hand like they're his crowd, and he knows it, and he knows they've got no choice because they're air traffic control. So he's got them captured whether they like it or not. But he just he knocks out some belter jokes. He has their lives, and then he has his own life.
Do you reckon he's been reciting these jokes to himself, playing playing Flight Simulator?
Just doing bits.
Just to himself, and he's like, you know what I need? No one's gonna get this. If I go to like the Frog and Bucket or something, no one's gonna get this.
Yeah.
I need someone who's in the business.
Yeah. This is a very specific genre of comedy, and I've only got this one bit. So there's no point me staying around after, because I'll never be able to improve on it. It's that good of a bit that people will want better from me afterwards, but I won't be able to give it. So I've got to kill myself as soon as I deliver it, so it stays in people's minds. I mean, some would say
Finish at your peak.
Yeah, some would say he's the ultimate performing artist. Others would give him his rightful title, which is Sky King. But yeah, mate, absolutely incredible, and something that I wish I could emulate in ways. I'm very jealous. No one else is going to go out in such a fucking massive, beautiful spectacle as that. Stole a fucking commercial jet. Stole a jet. Flew it. He GTA'd it.
It is impressive, man. There's no other thing about it. This kind of helps me with understanding reality, because if life was scripted or this was a TV show of some description, he wouldn't have died. He would have got a job.
He would have got a job.
If this was in the films, they'd be like, well, you're now the pilot.
You know the pilot. He'd then go on to create a successful charitable empire. He'd have a sanctuary named after him. But then it would turn out that he used to strangle kittens. So we'd build him up to this massive point. He'd have his own talk show. He'd have a couple of best-selling books, and then, oh no, fucking Sky King! Did you hear about when he used to strangle kittens and then shove them? He used to then put the kittens in tins of beans and smear them across people's windscreens. It's terrible stuff. We've got to cancel him, and he'd be removed from Twitter. He wouldn't be allowed on Facebook anymore. Constantly catching 30-day bans on Instagram, and my guy would basically be reduced to making numerology videos on BitChute for you to watch.
I love that. I'd be like, yes, I'm watching Sky King. I'm finally getting round to Sky King, bro. This week it's the number 12. It's like Sesame Street, but for adults. That's all numerology is.
Nah, I reckon Sesame Street's it's definitely got more quality to it. Sesame Street, I'd much rather take a lesson from than anyone chatting numerology bollocks.
No, because numerology, realistically, you can tie anything to it. Sesame Street's got its limitations. I mean, it's gone on for a very long time.
What can't you explain to me how Sesame Street didn't cause 9/11?
You know something I can't.
See?
I can't tell you that it didn't.
Exactly. Tell me that Big Bird wasn't some sort of metaphor for the system, for the ultra neoconservatives who were really pulling the strings behind the fucking curtain in American politics, and you've got Alan Wolfowitz and the plan and all of his crew really fucking sorting out what goes on and subverting people's attention and fucking carrying out all these nefarious plots. Tell me the Big Bird isn't Paul Wolfowitz. Tell me that Elmo isn't representative of the Islam Caliphate. Tell me he isn't Wahhabism, and I will call you a liar.
And I'll take it. I would take that. I'm not even going to debate the fact because I have never heard the name.
What, Paul Wolfowitz?
Yeah.
Oh, mate.
Or at least never heard it out loud. I don't know. But, it doesn't ring any bells. But I stand behind it, what you're saying, in a way. I really do think a lot of children's TV is there to try and make the next fucking Ted Kaczynski and all that.
I'd honestly, from watching the TV shows that I used to watch as a kid back, I'm mainly talking about the Moomins here, which we watched on acid when I was at university. They weren't trying to prepare us for anything. They were just people fucked up making programs. We watched an episode of Moomins on acid where I'm pretty sure a baby dies and they carry this child for miles to a horse and the horse then sniffs the child. And that was the episode. That wasn't preparing me for anything in life. It was just instilling horror whilst in a hallucinogenic state. I think people look into kids' programs because obviously it's an obvious one. Like, people think that we're programming the bands. But if you look behind it, like, TV shows they're shit. They can't prepare us for anything because they're just bad. Like,
but you've got to notice that the same words will get repeated, and it starts off with, it'll say, for example, say someone really wants to push the idea of eating apples. So in the backgrounds of TV shows, if you was to go back through them retrospectively, so 15 years ago, you'll see someone in the background eat an apple. And then a couple of years later, you've noticed that through in a lot of TV shows, there's a lot of people there chomping on apples in the background of these programs. And then all of a sudden, there's posters with people eating apples as well, plus people eating apples. And occasionally, they might say the words, eat an apple. And then a few years down the line, there's then a storyline in a TV show about someone eating apples, which is a shit example that I've chosen, but still they're eating apples then in the storyline. And then a few years after that happens in the real world.
Yeah, because they've got to do stuff that happens in the real world on the telly, otherwise you wouldn't have anything to relate to.
Why do you need stuff to relate to? I would much rather watch fucking farcical fucking nonsense.
Because you need to have some understanding of the world as it is now to then be able to build a fantastical world. So in order to be, you can't just go straight to fantasy because you've got no understanding of the difference between what is real and what is fantasy to then create that fantasy. You start off with what's real, and then you adapt that or you change that to things that aren't real to create fantasy. But you've got to build your basis in the real world first. You've got to get an understanding of things as they are. It'd be quite difficult to write fantasy without knowing truth. Do you know what I mean?
No.
Well, you'd have
I
to.
think you could write fantasy where you just base it on whatever you want, nothingness. Just
Yeah, what I'm saying is that nothingness to you, you still have to have an interpretation of the real world to write fantastical stuff. Otherwise, there's a chance you could write about the real world because you don't know the real world. So the reason that the reasons you'll see shit in kids programs that are normal and that you can relate to is because they're meant to be related to. The child can then or you can see yourself in that situation, or you know that you understand that to be a situation. It's like whenever they show a school, they'll show a whiteboard or a chalkboard, they'll show seats, they'll show a teacher, because that then lets the kids know, all right, they're at school like I'm at school. They couldn't have a school that was completely different, and then expect the kid to get to know that was a school, or to understand that was a school.
Oh.
Do you get what I mean?
Yeah, I get where you're coming from, yeah.
So it's not that. By all means, there'll be some programming because, of course, part of it's right when you say that certain things are promoted in kids' programs. So eating fruit and veg is, because obviously that's drilled into us across the board anyway. So you're gonna see that things like certain activities, you'll see balls, sport, different balls used for different sports. You'll see fucking bikes, shit like that, because it's stuff that you can let kids or expose kids to that isn't in any way damaging, isn't going to cause any uproar from fucking the parents.
I'm not saying it's supposed to show uproar about, though.
No, I know.
That's not what I'm suggesting. I'm suggesting that, for example, they could have had, say, 20, 30 years ago, let's say, because I would say the average cyclist is about, 35 or so. And I know we've got some cyclists that listen, and I don't want to lose you here if you've stuck around. But say 20 years ago or so in TV shows, loads of cycling where they're all clad in lycra and people aren't going, you look like a fucking bellend, mate. Say instead of that happening, they were like, don't they look cool? Then they grow up to be cyclists, and then there's loads of cyclists. I mean like that, and are they trying to see, as all of TV being used to sort of experiment on people? What can we promote here? What can we make people think in 20 years' time? And can we bring that 20 years down? Can we bring that 20 years down to 15? Can we bring it down to 10? Can we bring it down to a week? Could we mess with people's minds in such a way using TV shows that within a week they completely change their mindset on a lot of things?
I think you're giving the producers of TV shows far too much credit in their ability to control the population. Now, obviously there is some influence, some that do. So Gogglebox is a really good one. Gogglebox is really good at that because what that does is shows clips of television that anyone's able to see and therefore anyone's able to have a response to, but it then shows you a selection of responses from various households that are meant to represent our peers. And in the same way of a newspaper telling you what you should be watching and what you should think about it. Well, yeah, so in some respect there are shows like that maybe do, whether that's their intention or not. But to believe that, because one thing, in order for that to be the case, all the media that we see would have to be state-controlled, because it would all have to come from one voice. When in reality what happens is shows are pitched by fucking any number of people. There are loads of production houses. Nowadays things can be made for cheaper, and in different locations. You don't have to all be working out of a massive broadcasting studio. So those are just ideas and projects that are sold to channels or sold to fucking content providers, and they'd all have to be in on it. It's like the fucking usual Illuminati thing. Too many people would have to be quiet, be complicit, and and keep a fucking watertight ship for it to be humanly possible. Like, I say this every time, I can't organise 5 people to go out at the same time and do something. How do you expect entire government agencies and authorities and all these different media groups to all keep hush on something from the top down to the bottom, because everyone would know, and expect not to let that secret ever get out?
Compartmentalise it, make everybody in it believe that it's one thing when in reality it's just something else.
But then, but other people wouldn't know. But there would be people who do know, and there'd be too many of those people who do know for one not to let slip, or for a sheer abundance of them not to let slip. Like, it's theories like that give people too much credit. Like, humans aren't that fucking good. That would topple a lot of conspiracies. Conspiracies put people in too good of a light. We're not fucking that good at keeping secrets. We're also not that organised. We've all melted down over the last year and a half over something we can't see. That, yeah, has killed quite a few people and has afflicted a lot more. But surely if we were all being all controllable, all powerful, all fucking omnipresent, fucking omnipotent, certain people wouldn't have been killed by this.
Could you not view it as a test, though, as some description? Not like in what, I suppose, in the similar way to what religious people say, oh, God's testing us, but replace God with controlling to see, do they believe? Do they just accept what we're telling them yet?
But why would they have to?
Just to see. Maybe they've not got control yet. Maybe they're vying for it.
But what does control mean? We're all doing, like, what are we all doing? We all pay tax now. Like, for obviously, this is the majority. Everyone pays tax. Everyone lives within laws to a degree, to the point where we all know the planet is falling to pieces. We all know that people are starving. We all know there's the money and resources to somewhat fix it, but heads aren't on sticks. So when people say we're not under control, we are. Otherwise, they'd be rioting in the streets. Otherwise, the CEOs of like the top 100 countries or companies would all be dead. Their blood would be in the streets.
What's causing that, though? It could be kids' TV shows, like the fucking tweenies, being like, "Look, here's your teacher. Your teacher is good." Yeah, the fucking, I don't know, but again, shit examples this week. I apologise, guys, but fucking Davy, the fucking tweenie, doesn't like the teacher,
Milo.
but everyone else.
I know there was a Milo.
Milo.
There was a Milo.
Doesn't like the teacher, but Milo's a dick, isn't he, boys and girls, for not liking the teacher?
Milo's off to the Labour camp, boys and girls, and do you know what happens there? He saws our lovely trainers. Let's all give a clap for Milo, because it's the last time we'll ever see him. So everyone, let's sit back down to the desks, and let's carry on reciting this North Korean.
There as well, because he's got those chunky fingers that are no good for a sewing needle.
No, they're not.
Bye, Milo.
They are really good for filling bullets with gunpowder. So that's his job. Milo
really
filling the
good
bullets.
If you're a doctor that molests your child patients.
Yeah, he's got those fingers that just go. Them ones. Them fleshy sausage fingers. Yeah, I would say that we're in the clear on that one. But I'm not clear in Sesame Street from causing 9/11. That's still a possibility, but in a different way. That wasn't the powers that be. It
was just Jim Henson. I just got angry one week.
Yeah, basically.
Made a bunch of episodes and just only sold them to Saudi TV channels.
Yeah, if you go to Saudi Arabia and watch Sesame Street, first of all, you can't mention the words. So if you mention the word Sesame Street, that's akin to wearing a bikini in public and drinking alcohol at the same time, whilst being a woman. So it's fucking pretty severe. But if you do watch Sesame Street, it's all anti-Arabic propaganda and anti-Islamic propaganda.
Just to anger them, they think this is all American TV is.
Jim Henson basically fucking hated his American audience because they never got. Sesame Street was never meant to be a kids program. Jim Henson thought
They just didn't understand the underlying racial tones.
yeah, he did. What he thought and what he thought the nation would see was that this was his deeply philosophical, deeply spiritual depiction of how he saw the world and how he saw society and how he saw races and colours and creeds and ethnicities and religions just all working together like a fucking 6 foot tall yellow bird and a small red thing. And
a couple of gay lads that I think
and a couple of definitely on the fucking on the fruity side, Bert and Ernie. I mean, they tried to play it off. This is the thing. Jim Henson, he was very forward thinking, even at that time.
But that forward thinking bit, is that not just a little breadcrumb?
Wait.
Just give them just a little bit now, and then later down the line.
No, what I mean by forward thinking is that he made two very butch and two very, very stern, cynical, like fucking men, like manly men, the gay couple, which would never have happened in TV at the time, and he made he obviously made The Big Yellow Bird, which was obviously meant to be I mean he was obviously the system. He was obviously the Jewish banking system, because this is the thing about Jim Henson. He was quite anti-Semitic. The Big Bird
Grouch represented socialism, and he wanted that in the bin. He didn't want that.
Big
so
Bird,
he didn't agree with that either.
Big Bird, the Jewish banker, always had his beak in everything, always lording over everyone's business, standing high and mighty over everyone. That's obviously the fucking Jewish banking system. And yeah, Grouch's Bernie Sanders. Don't know if you see the resemblance there, but that's why people don't like Bernie Sanders now. Was Grouch the one that lives in a bin?
Yeah.
See, because we promote that socialism will make you result in you living in a bin. That's why people hate Bernie Sanders, because of Sesame Street. But he thought this was going to be shown on prime time. He thought this was going to take him places, and then when the companies got back to him, were like, "Yeah, mate, we're going to take this show. It's going to be on about 7-8 o'clock in the morning before they go to school." He goes, "School? What do you mean school?" Well, they can't put it on after then because the kids will be at school, and the kids obviously won't be able to watch it. What do you mean, kids? They're
never going to be able to grasp the finer details.
They're not going to get the subtext. Yeah, they're not going to get all the numerological cues. They're not going to get all the predictive programming. They're not going to understand the references that I've made to Soviet doctrine.
From now.
Yeah, they're not going to get it. So what the fuck? So what he did, in hatred, basically, he hated the broadcasting world, and he thought, well, the only thing I can do is bring this thing to the ground, and I'll do it using my own creation. So he then created a load of really anti-Islamic storylines, and only released that series in Saudi Arabia. And it's 8:30, so it's Chod's show. Any parting thoughts?
None at all.
Absolutely fantastic.
I apologise for the show, guys.
Yeah, no, don't worry about it. This has been as good as it always has been, which is pretty shit, but that's absolutely fine. Chode Liberal Paradise up in about 3-4 seconds in a bit.